This is Michael Arias, and in this video, we're looking at XLM against the US dollar. And this is the contrarian view, right? After going full circle with all my analysis across all the other charts that I normally cover, and the last one being Bitcoin, it has given me an idea as to what we could be seeing here now, something that would align potentially with what Bitcoin may do. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below. And so this video goes back to the idea that the move down since 2017, 18 was an expanded zigzag, right? I've outlined the same way that I'd done this before. However, this time we have a bit more of a guide because of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is the leader of the pack. It's definitely giving some kind of clue as to what could be happening. And in saying that, this is the reason for this analysis. Right now, this expanded zigzag here is basically the reaction to the first one, given all the ups and downs in Bitcoin. And the thing that I find interesting about this particular idea is that it kind of aligns as to what Bitcoin is doing, right? So obviously XLM has never really been producing the exact same pattern for, what's going on in Bitcoin. It doesn't really reflect it 100%. And these overlapping waves here in this structure, just it always makes me think that it's a zigzag now. Now, whether it's the A, if this is a 5-wave move, or this is a B because that was an A wave, it's still going to be regarded as a zigzag no matter which way we look at it. It's the second wave. So using that, I suppose I had to have to find a way to see if this is actually some kind of 5-wave move. And if that's the case, then the first move being a zigzag, then this would have to be some kind of weak 5-wave move. And in that case, this would be labeled a wave 1 with a 2. And in that case, that does look like a zigzag, and we'd have to find more evidence. So this could be wave 3 with a weak 5-wave move in wave A of the zigzag, sharp correction, and then another 5-wave move for wave 3. So if that's the case, I'll get rid of that. If that's the case, then we need to go in a bit closer, because if we are looking for a wave 5 that is a 3-wave move, we need to first confirm that we have this correction right. So this here looking like a 3-wave move would be A. This would be B right here, right? That did dip below that line there. I remember this. I've done this before. And this here being some kind of weak 5-wave move right there for C. And that particular type of analysis, is indicating that that's a type 2 weak 5-wave move rather than a type 1. And then a wave D down, and then an E, right? And that would explain what happened after that. It would be, we're looking for a zigzag down, so then that means this would be, well, more than likely a 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that we'd have to see a bounce and another low, right? So this would be obviously the wave A of the zigzag. And of course, we'd need to see a wave B occur, and then a wave C again for complete the zigzag, right? So that's obviously how it would go if this view was to be correct, right? Now, interestingly enough, it seems to fit the timing of Bitcoin. Other considerations I had was potential lag in recovery of XLM due to this happening in the past. For example, Bitcoin bottomed here and in 2019, whereas XLM bottomed at this low, a couple of years later. And I thought, well, could that possibly happen this time? And then I thought about it. Obviously, I've come to this sort of conclusion now, but I thought about that, and then if Bitcoin is going to be in its impulsive portion of a move, then more than likely this wouldn't be the case, right? More than likely we would see a recovery in XLM at the same time because it would be one of the strongest portions of the move, and you probably wouldn't see a lag the way that we saw a lag in that period 2018 to 2020 because Bitcoin was producing an A wave and then retraced most of it. Whereas here it was just completing this zigzag still. So it kind of just shows you that there's difference in the corrective pattern, right? The corrective style. It's not the same, but that's not to say that it's invalid, right? It's just a different correction, right? The wave components are just, A was longer, B has seems to have happened here, and Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin, I'm expecting it to produce another couple of waves to end wave B. And I find this interesting because, I always wondered, well, Bitcoin's run for so long, altcoins haven't really had a chance to run. So what could possibly cause a big run up that's significantly, I don't know. Anyway, it's beside the point. In Bitcoin, we're looking for two waves up. So a wave up for the end of D, and then E, and then the actual C wave. So there's technically it's going to be something like this, right? It's going to be like, Bitcoin's going to have to finish the move that started in roughly, September 2020, and then it's going to see an E wave down. So how would that, coincide with a D wave in XLM? Well, whilst Bitcoin is producing what could more than likely be a weak wave E down, right? Actually, I'll change the color of this because here it's D wave, not an E wave. So whilst Bitcoin's producing what will more than likely be a weak wave E down, this might cause a sharp type of pullback in XLM that might go potentially 0.618 from that area or more, could be 0.618 or could be 0.786, something like that. And then we'd see obviously the other leg up, which would be the completion of the B wave in Bitcoin, but the completion of the D wave here. And then obviously after that, we'll have another move down again, and that would be the C wave in Bitcoin. So being a C wave in Bitcoin, here it would be E wave. That means that we'd basically come to the end of this correction in XLM, and then we'd turn impulsive again. So I'm really wondering what that pattern might be. It's actually interesting when you think about it, because if that correction ends, then we could see another major altcoin rally at that point. I don't want to go too far ahead, just want to discuss the potential there for two waves up in Bitcoin will be a D wave in XLM. So more to the point, let's just continue to focus on the idea that we could potentially be seeing a bottom, and the way that we would see that bottom, if this is correct, would be a zigzag at this point. And a zigzag at this point will definitely add credence to this idea, because a zigzag at this point, it kind of fits with the rest of the pattern, and it would create a 5-wave move, and it would also coincide with Bitcoin's bottom. To see anything lower than that, according to this view, it just simply doesn't fit. And that's the kind of evidence that I need to find in order to change my view to become bullish, right? Bitcoin had to be the one to give me the signal first, and then give me the idea, which leads to the analysis that you're seeing right now. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.